Keanu Reeves stood under the bright summer sun, his black motorcycle glinting as he leaned against it. It was one of those rare afternoons where he wasn't on a film set, away from the crowded streets of Los Angeles and the blinding lights of Hollywood. The quiet hum of the suburban neighborhood felt soothing, a welcome contrast to the intensity of his usual routine. He had taken the long way home after a ride to clear his mind, enjoying the simple freedom of the open road. As he rounded a corner, something unexpected caught his eye. A small lemonade stand set up at the edge of a driveway, its handmade sign wobbling slightly in the breeze. Before we start, smash the like and subscribe buttons for more updates. Behind the stand was a young girl, no older than 9 or 10, diligently rearranging cups and a pitcher of lemonade. Her face was a picture of determination as she adjusted her sign, which proudly declared "Lemonade, $1" in bright, wobbly marker letters. Next to her was a jar with a smattering of coins and bills. Keanu couldn't help but smile. There was something undeniably wholesome about the scene, a reminder of childhood simplicity and ambition. Without a second thought, he parked his motorcycle a few feet away and walked over. "Hi there," Keanu greeted warmly, his voice kind but calm as he approached the stand. The girl looked up, her eyes widening as she realized who stood before her. Even at her young age, she recognized him instantly, though her excitement was tempered by a sense of disbelief. "How's the lemonade business going?" he asked, crouching slightly to meet her eye level. It's good," she stammered, still clutching the marker she'd been using. Do you want some lemonade?" Keanu chuckled, appreciating her earnestness. "Of course. I've been riding all afternoon, and lemonade sounds like exactly what I need." He fished a crumpled bill from his pocket, handing it to her before she could even fill his cup. Her eyes widened as she unfolded the $20 bill. "Oh, I don't have change for this," she said, panicking slightly. "Keep the change," Keanu said with a smile. "It's for a good cause, right?" The girl nodded quickly, still in awe of her unexpected customer. She poured him a cup of lemonade, her hands trembling slightly as she handed it over. "Thank you!" she exclaimed, the brightest smile lighting up her face. Keanu sipped the lemonade, nodding in approval. "This is great! Best lemonade I've had all summer," he said with genuine enthusiasm. The girl's grin widened, and she puffed up with pride. "What's your name?" he asked. "Emily," she replied shyly. "Well, Emily, you're a talented businesswoman," Keanu said, tipping his cup to her. "Keep it up, okay?" Emily nodded enthusiastically, watching as he returned to his motorcycle. She couldn't believe it. Keanu Reeves, the Keanu Reeves, had just bought lemonade from her little stand. She barely noticed her neighbors gawking from across the street or her mother snapping a quick picture from the porch. As he rode away, the moment felt surreal, like a dream she never wanted to forget. That night, Emily couldn't stop talking about her encounter. "Mom, he was so nice, and he gave me $20 for 1 cup of lemonade. Can you believe that?" Her mother smiled, marveling at how one small act of kindness had made her daughter's day so magical. The next morning, Emily was back at her stand, energized by the memory of the day before. Her lemonade sign was a little brighter, her cups stacked a little straighter. She couldn't help but hope, just a tiny, impossible hope, that maybe, just maybe, Keanu would pass by again. Around midday, as the summer heat reached its peak, Emily's lemonade sales had picked up. A few neighbors stopped by, buying cups and chatting with her about her famous visitor. She was thrilled to share the story, her excitement bubbling over each time she recounted it. But as the hours passed, the thrill of the previous day began to fade. It had been a once-in-a-lifetime moment after all. Surely it wouldn't happen again. But then, like a scene from a movie, the unmistakable hum of a motorcycle echoed down the street. Emily's heart leapt as she recognized the black bike pulling up to her driveway. She blinked in disbelief as Keanu Reeves once again stepped off his motorcycle, this time carrying a brown paper bag. "Hey, Emily," Keanu greeted, his trademark smile lighting up his face. "How's business today?" Emily was too stunned to speak. Her mother, who had been watering flowers nearby, froze mid-sprinkle, her jaw dropping. Keanu chuckled at their reactions, setting the bag on the table. "I was thinking about that lemonade all night," he said, "and I figured, why not come back for more? But this time, I brought something for you." Emily peeked into the bag, her small hands trembling as she pulled out its contents. Inside were 2 books about business and entrepreneurship, a fancy sketch pad, and a set of colorful markers. "I thought you might like these," Keanu explained. "For your lemonade stand or whatever big ideas you've got." Emily's eyes filled with tears. "Thank you so much," she exclaimed, barely able to contain her joy. "You're welcome, kiddo," Keanu said. "You've got a good thing going here. Keep dreaming big, okay?" By now, a small crowd had gathered nearby, neighbors stepping out of their homes to witness the moment. Keanu, ever gracious, took a few pictures with Emily and her stand, signing her lemonade sign as a keepsake. "To Emily, the best lemonade entrepreneur," he wrote with a flourish. Before he left, Keanu bought another cup of lemonade, handing Emily another $20 bill despite her protests. "It's worth every penny," he said with a wink. Then with a final wave, he climbed onto his motorcycle and rode off, leaving behind a neighborhood buzzing with excitement. For Emily, the visit wasn't just a brush with fame. It was a moment that would shape her for years to come. Inspired by Keanu's kindness and encouragement, she poured her energy into her lemonade stand, dreaming of bigger ventures. The books he gave her became well-worn treasures, their pages filled with notes and ideas. Word of Keanu's visit spread quickly. Local news outlets picked up the story, celebrating his humble generosity and the joy he'd brought to a young girl's life. Even Keanu, who typically shunned the spotlight, couldn't help but smile when asked about it in an interview. "She's got the spirit," he said simply. "That's the kind of thing we should support." Years later, when Emily was asked about her childhood lemonade stand, she always spoke of that summer with a glimmer in her eye. Meeting Keanu Reeves wasn't just the highlight of my summer. It was the highlight of my life. He taught me that even small dreams can turn into something big if you believe in yourself and work hard. And he reminded me how far a little kindness can go. Keanu's surprise visit had been more than a fleeting encounter. It had planted a seed of inspiration in Emily's heart. And as she grew older, that seed blossomed into something extraordinary. She never forgot the lessons he taught her, nor the simple magic of a summer afternoon spent selling lemonade to a Hollywood star. Emily's lemonade stand became the talk of the neighborhood in the weeks following Keanu Reeves' visit. Her mother printed out the photos of Emily and Keanu, framing one for the kitchen and another for the stand itself. Neighbors who hadn't bought lemonade before suddenly became regular customers, eager to hear every detail about the now legendary encounter. Some came for the lemonade, others came for the story, and still others just wanted to share in the magic that seemed to surround Emily's tiny business. But for Emily, it wasn't just about the fame or attention. Something inside her had changed. Keanu's kind words and thoughtful gifts had sparked a new sense of purpose. She wasn't just selling lemonade anymore, she was running her own business. That thought thrilled her, and she wanted to do everything she could to make it the best lemonade stand in town. One evening, Emily sat at the kitchen table with the books Keanu had given her, flipping through the pages as her mother prepared dinner. "Mom," she said, tapping a page filled with colorful diagrams about branding, "do you think we could make a new sign for the stand? One with a logo?" Her mother glanced over, smiling at her daughter's enthusiasm. "A logo, huh? That sounds like a great idea. What do you have in mind?" Emily thought for a moment, then grabbed the sketch pad Keanu had given her. She started to draw, her tongue poking out in concentration. After several attempts, she proudly held up a design featuring a bright yellow lemon with a happy face surrounded by the words "Emily's Famous Lemonade" in bold, cheerful letters. Her mother laughed. "That's adorable! I think it'll look perfect on your stand. We can print it out tomorrow." The next day, armed with her new sign, Emily set up her stand with a renewed sense of pride. The logo was a hit with her customers, many of whom complimented her on the design. "Wow, Emily, this looks so professional," one neighbor remarked, dropping a $5 bill into her jar. Emily beamed, feeling like she was truly running a business. But her ambitions didn't stop there. Inspired by the entrepreneurial spirit Keanu had encouraged, Emily began brainstorming new ideas. She experimented with different flavors of lemonade, adding strawberry, raspberry, and even mint to her menu. She offered discounts for repeat customers and introduced a buy one get one free promotion on particularly hot days. Her efforts paid off, and soon she was earning more money than she had ever imagined. One weekend, Emily decided to use some of her earnings to give back to her community. She told her mother she wanted to donate a portion of her profits to the local animal shelter, a place she had always loved visiting. "I think Keanu would like that," she explained. "He said it's good to support important things." her mother's eyes filled with pride. "That's a wonderful idea, sweetie. Let's go tomorrow and see what they need." When Emily arrived at the shelter with her donation, the staff was overjoyed. They gave her a tour, introducing her to the animals and explaining how her contribution would help provide food and medical care. Emily felt a warm glow in her chest, realizing that her little lemonade stand had made a real difference. As the summer went on, Emily's lemonade stand continued to thrive. She became a local celebrity in her own right, with people from neighboring towns stopping by just to buy a cup of her famous lemonade. She even started getting requests to set up her stand at community events like farmers markets and school fairs. Each time she brought her cheerful logo, her delicious lemonade, and her infectious enthusiasm, winning over new fans wherever she went. Meanwhile, Keanu Reeves' life carried on as usual, filled with movie sets, interviews, and public appearances. But the memory of Emily's lemonade stand stayed with him. He often thought about her determination and the joy she radiated, wondering how her business was doing. One day, while scrolling through social media during a break on set, he came across a local news article about Emily's famous lemonade. The article described how Emily had grown her stand into a thriving business, complete with new flavors, community donations, and an ever-growing customer base. Keanu smiled as he read the article. It warmed his heart to see how much she had accomplished, and he felt a surge of pride knowing he had played a small part in inspiring her. Then an idea struck him. What if he visited her again, not just as a surprise, but to help her in an even bigger way? A week later, Emily was at her stand, busily serving customers as usual, when she noticed a familiar figure approaching. Her heart skipped a beat as she realized it was Keanu, but this time he wasn't alone. Behind him was a camera crew, along with a woman holding a microphone. Emily's mother, who had been chatting with a neighbor nearby, hurried over in surprise. "Emily!" Keanu called, waving as he approached. "How's my favorite lemonade entrepreneur?" Emily grinned, her excitement bubbling over. "Keanu, you're back!" "Of course," he said, crouching down to her level. "I couldn't stay away for too long, and I brought some friends with me." He gestured to the camera crew who were setting up nearby. "What's going on?" Emily asked, her eyes wide with curiosity. "Well," Keanu explained, "I was so impressed by everything you've done with your lemonade stand that I told some friends about it. They wanted to come see it for themselves and maybe even help you take things to the next level." The woman with the microphone introduced herself as a producer for a popular talk show. She explained that they had heard about Emily's story and wanted to feature her on an upcoming episode. "We love celebrating young entrepreneurs like you," she said, "and we think your story is something everyone should hear." Emily was speechless. Her mother put a comforting hand on her shoulder, smiling through her own astonishment. "What do you think, Emily?" Keanu asked gently. "Ready to show the world what you've got?" Emily nodded, her nerves giving way to excitement. Over the next hour, the crew filmed her at work, capturing shots of her pouring lemonade, chatting with customers, and proudly showing off her stand. They interviewed her about her journey, asking what inspired her and how she felt about her success. When the filming was done, Keanu pulled Emily aside. "I've got one more surprise for you," he said, pulling out an envelope. Inside was a gift card to a local art supply store, along with a handwritten note. "I figured you might want some more supplies for all your big ideas," he said. "Keep dreaming, Emily." Emily threw her arms around him in a tight hug. "Thank you so much," she said, her voice muffled against his jacket. "You're the best." Keanu laughed, patting her back. "You're the one doing all the hard work, kiddo. I'm just here to cheer you on." The talk show episode aired a few weeks later, and Emily's story captured the hearts of viewers across the country. Her lemonade stand became more popular than ever, with people traveling from miles away just to buy a cup. Local businesses even started partnering with her, offering to sponsor her stand at events or supply her with fresh ingredients. For Emily, the summer that began with a simple lemonade stand became a life-changing experience. She learned not only about running a business, but also about the power of kindness, hard work, and believing in herself. And while she would always cherish the memory of meeting Keanu Reeves, what meant the most to her was the way he had encouraged her to dream big and make a difference. Years later, when Emily was in college studying business, she often thought back to that summer and the lessons it had taught her. She knew that no matter where life took her, she would always carry a piece of that lemonade stand with her, a reminder that even the smallest acts of kindness can inspire extraordinary things. And whenever she doubted herself, she would remember Keanu's words, "Keep dreaming, Emily." It was a message she carried in her heart, one she hoped to share with the world in her own way someday. And somewhere out there, Keanu Reeves, the man who had once stopped at a little girl's lemonade stand on a quiet summer afternoon, would surely be smiling, proud of the legacy he had helped create. As Emily grew older, her story of the lemonade stand continued to be a cornerstone of her life. By the time she entered high school, her entrepreneurial spirit had evolved far beyond the simple operation she had once run at the end of her driveway. She had started a community club for young entrepreneurs, helping other kids in the neighborhood turn their own small ideas into realities. From bake sales to craft fairs, Emily's guidance and infectious enthusiasm inspired her peers to embrace their own potential, just as Keanu Reeves had inspired her that unforgettable summer. The club, aptly named Dreamers in Action, became a beloved part of the community. Each month they held workshops and events, teaching kids about budgeting, marketing, and even giving back to the community. Emily's natural leadership shone through, and the club quickly gained attention from local businesses and schools. She often shared the story of Keanu's visit, not as a way to brag, but as a reminder of how one person's kindness and encouragement could change someone's life. One day, during a particularly successful club event at a nearby park, Emily stood by a table filled with hand-drawn posters and flyers about the importance of chasing dreams. A local journalist approached her, curious about the impressive turnout. "It's amazing what you've built here," the journalist said. "You're only 16, and yet you've already made such an impact. Where do you see yourself going from here?" Emily paused, a thoughtful expression crossing her face. "I think it's less about where I'm going, and more about what I can create along the way," she replied. "When I started selling lemonade, it felt like just a fun way to spend my summer. But it became something much bigger because someone saw potential in me and encouraged me to do more. I want to be that person for other kids." Her answer resonated deeply, and the journalist's article titled "From Lemonade Stand to Community Leader" painted a picture of a young woman who was just beginning to scratch the surface of her potential. The article found its way onto social media, where it gained traction, eventually catching the attention of none other than Keanu Reeves himself. Keanu, now in the middle of filming another blockbuster movie, couldn't resist reaching out when he read the piece. He contacted Emily through her club's email, sending a brief but heartfelt message. "Emily, it's incredible to see what you've done since the lemonade stand. You've created something truly special. Keep inspiring others and never stop dreaming. Keanu." When Emily read the email, her heart soared. It wasn't just the words themselves, but the reminder that the man who had once stopped by her lemonade stand still believed in her. She printed out the message and framed it, adding it to the growing collection of memorabilia from that fateful summer. As Emily prepared for her senior year of high school, she began laying the groundwork for her future. She planned to pursue a degree in business and social entrepreneurship, with dreams of expanding her club into a national organization. The lemonade stand had been just the beginning, a spark that ignited a fire she would carry with her for the rest of her life. And while she had no way of knowing where her journey would ultimately take her, one thing was certain: the values that had shaped her as a young girl, the power of kindness, the importance of giving back, and the courage to dream big, would guide her every step of the way. If you like this video, please give it a like and subscribe to our channel. Also, leave your comments below and tell us, what are your thoughts on Keanu Reeves' kind gesture at the lemonade stand? We want to hear from you. Thank you for watching, and see you next time.